yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you, and thank you. It's Thursday morning, and welcome to the Calvin Dean Show. And, yeah, it's very early in the morning, like 6 a.m., and, gosh, the show must go on. Show must go on. And we have week 13. Guys, week 13, can you believe it? Wow. 18 weeks, and we are almost done. And it just, wow. Let's go over the standings, guys. Let's just go over the standings after week 12, right? We have the Miami Dolphins 8-3. Wow. 8-3, Miami Dolphins. The Buffalo Bills 6-6. The no offense New York Jets 4-7, and the New England Patriots 2-9. That is the AFC East. And I mean, it's the funniest part is that Aaron Rodgers is talking about coming back. Oh, I'm going to be back. I'm Superman. My Achilles heel, my Achilles tendon is getting better. I'm going to save the day. The guy's been, I'm sorry, Aaron, let's just be real. You've been washed up for 2 years. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Aaron Rodgers fans. But guess what? He has. Look at his stats. He had that great year in 2020, the COVID year, which actually Tom Brady he should have won that, the MVP that year. But they gave it to Aaron Rodgers back-to-back jacks, man. Back-to-back MVPs. But then something happened. I think his age caught to him, and he's just not the Aaron of yesteryear, where he made these amazing throws, and at the end of the game, he brought his team back and won. He hasn't been the same, guys. The last 2 years. What makes you think he's going to do the same with the New York Jets with their offense? He's going to humiliate himself, and he is. It's embarrassing. There's sometimes, it's funny, it's like in baseball, I knew it was my end. I knew it was the end. I mean, I broke my ankle, tried to come back, and I just didn't have it. I just didn't have the arm strength anymore like I used to. My balls, when I'd thrown from the outfield, I just didn't have it. So I quit. I retired from baseball. I mean, it took. I loved the game, loved it. It was one of those things where I really did love the game. And I was going to say I played for free, and by playing in minor leagues, I guess I did play for free. Anyway, but so I'm just back to Aaron. I just retire, dude, retire. You've had a great career. Don't embarrass yourself even further. You're going to. Aaron, you're going to embarrass yourself. Don't come back this year. The Jets they're not going to make it to the playoffs, period. Look at these teams. Think about it. You're 4-7, right? Okay, this is logic. Let's go logic-wise. Buffalo Bills are 6-6. They're going to make the playoffs. I guarantee you Buffalo Bills will make the playoffs. Bar none, they will. The Jets, 4-7. New England Patriots, 2-9. Okay, so 4-7. So what other teams? We have the AFC in North. We have the Baltimore Ravens 9-3, right? Leading the actual AFC number one pick. So they're leading Baltimore. I told everyone. I predicted in the beginning of the year Baltimore and the 49ers in the Super Bowl. I'm almost correct, right, guys? And then we have the Pittsburgh Steelers 7-4, the Browns 7-4. Right? The Bengals 5-6. Even the Bengals have a better record than the Jets. And they're in last place on the AFC North, right? And then you have the Jacksonville Jags, right? The Jacksonville Jags, right? Their record is 8-3. And then you have the Indianapolis Colts 6-5, the Texans 6-5, and the Titans 4-7, right? And then you have the Kansas City Chiefs 8-3, Broncos 6-5. They've won They have like a 5-game winning streak, and the Raiders 5-7, and the Chargers 4-7. So you have how many teams ahead of you? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You have 12 teams ahead of the Jets record. 12 in the AFC. Come on. You're not going to make the playoffs, New York Jets. And Rodgers, why would you even come back and do yourself a favor? Seriously, I really think you should do some soul searching. And I know you really were wanting to come back and really wanting to play for the New York Jets, but it's just not going to work this year. Maybe next year, if the Jets got some offense, maybe a couple more receivers. They only have one, Garrett Wilson. Lazard, Rodgers, that's the whole thing. It's just like he's so old school. I want Lazard. I want, all his old buddies. But they're those guys are not like they used to be. They just aren't. Alan Lazard is a huge guy. Have you ever seen him, guys? He's pretty big. I mean, he's tall, really, and he's big too. Man, just and then you have let's just go into Baltimore Ravens. We have the North. We have the Baltimore Ravens, then the Steelers, then the Browns, and then Cincinnati Bengals. Man, those Baltimore Ravens look awesome. They just do. And then the Jacksonville Jags are leading the South, and the Colts and the Texans are both 6-5. The Titans, and then you have the Kansas City Chiefs 8-3, and the surprising Denver Broncos. Even the Raiders are still in it, so to speak, 5-7. And the Los Angeles Chargers 4-7. I don't know about anything about that team. I'm just so disappointed. And then you have the NFC. I mean, the Eagles are just rocking the Casbah again. Looking all Eagle-ish. They just, what a game, Buffalo. Wow. Sorry, Buffalo fans. I mean, my friends, family, they love those Buffalo Bills, and plus where I came from, right? And we used to go to Buffalo Bill football games. I just, wow. I mean, Josh Allen, his face. But it's Jalen Hurts, man. I mean, he's just clutch. You keep in the game. If the Eagles are in the game and Jalen Hurts, he'll drive that team down and he'll win. He's that good. Kelsey, everyone on that team is just amazing. Jason is just one of the best. I mean, the guy doesn't look 36. That's another. He doesn't look 36 the way he is. He's such a great center. Wow. And deep. Just they have such a great team. But that Jalen Hurts just keeps getting better and better and better. And those Eagles, they look good. I mean, their defense didn't look too good. I mean, Josh Allen just shredded them. But, I think if the Eagles meet a better team defensively, they might be in trouble. And the Dallas Cowboys, 8-3, looking all world. But you never know. It's kind of like when you're when you're looking at the Dallas Cowboys and you're thinking about them, right? You're always thinking, okay, when are they going to screw up? Because they always do. Dak Prescott always does something. Just they're doing great, and he always does. It's amazing. But it happens, guys. It happens. Then you have the New York Giants, 4-8, terrible, and then you have the Washington Commanders, even worse, 4-8. So you have two great teams in that division, and then two terrible teams. It's true, right? And then you have the Detroit Lions losing on Thanksgiving Day. Wow. I mean, that was just, whew. a slap in the face, man. I mean, come on. Just Thanksgiving Day, you guys can't beat the Green Bay Packers, who's 5-6. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. They should have won that game. And it wasn't even nearly as close as a score at the end of the game. 29-22. It wasn't that close. Green Bay had their number. They just did. I think it was like the Detroit Lions. We're going to roll on these guys. We're going to roll on these guys. These guys are 4-6. We're going to roll on them. But no, they didn't. And then the Minnesota Vikings, with Joshua Dobbs on Monday Night Football. I called the Bears to beat them. And man, Joshua Dobbs. I mean, right at the end when he scored, that last minute touchdown, and they did well. I mean, wow, they got back into the game, and then Justin Fields came down the field and got another field goal to win. Woo, whoop-de-doo. Oh my God, that game was the most boring game I've ever seen in my life. Oh, man, I needed toothpicks to keep my eyes open. Anyway, yeah, it's true. And so, it's just Green Bay is 5-6, and the Chicago Bears 4-8. They're still talking. Chicago has a number one pick because of the trade they made with Carolina. And, wow, they're really... I would get rid of Justin Fields. He's great at times, but then at other times he has that greatness, and then he just has mediocrity. Just like Tom Brady said. Tom came out and said that the NFL he cannot believe the mediocrity of the NFL. And it's true. I mean, some of these teams are just terrible. Terrible. The mediocrity of the New York Jets, the mediocrity of the Buffalo Bills, mediocrity of the New England Patriots. It goes all the way down. The mediocrity of the Tennessee Titans. Notice that a lot of these teams have ex-New England Patriot coaches. Think about it. The Chargers, that's huge mediocrity. And the same with the Las Vegas Raiders, and then it goes down to the New York Giants and the Commanders and the Vikings and the Green Bay Packers and the Bears. It goes on and on. Tom Brady was completely, unequivocally right. Look at the NFC South. Think about this one. NFC South. Guess who's leading? I told everyone the Falcons would win this division. And who's in top? The Atlanta Falcons, right? Before they go to my show, my prediction shows, and you'll see my prediction show, and I predicted the Atlanta Falcons would win the NFC South, and they did. And they are winning. Excuse me. They're 5-6. They're winning the division at 5-6. That's how terrible this division is. And then the Saints. What? Derek Carr. We're gonna get Derek Carr. Remember that? Oh, we're going to be great. It's going to be great. We got Kamara. We got this. We got that. You got a 5-6 record, guys. 5-6 record. And then the Bucks, 4-7. Tampa Bay Bucks. I mean, I tell you, Baker Mayfield's been doing really well, but their defense is just, ugh. And they're 4-7. And then the Carolina Panthers, firing Frank Wright yesterday. And man, they're 1-10. Carolina Panthers, right? Frank Wright, gone. And it's the funniest part is that they had a press conference yesterday. I was listening to NFL Network on XM radio, and they had this. It's funny. This report he just put the owner on notice. It's like so. And they just went over the owner's record, since he took over, right? He says it's the worst record ever recorded in the NFL. And then, so why is that? And then the owner says, well, not everything's black and white, and there's some gray areas, and we do things this way and we do things that way. And then he came out and they said, well, Frank Wright wanted C.J. Stroud. Everyone wanted C.J. Stroud, but you pulled the trigger because you're the owner and you wanted Ryung. And then owner came back and said, well, it's blah, 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 blah. It was like yada, 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 yada. It's like watching a Seinfeld episode. Yada, yada episode. Remember those yada, yada episode of Seinfeld? Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. It was so funny. The owner was getting all these really tough questions, and he was just yada, yadaing everyone. It was funny. Well, hey, I'm a billionaire. I can do anything I want. I don't really care. I mean, that type of thing, Yeah, I got billions of dollars. I made, not everything's so black and white. It's funny. It was funny. It was comical. It was comical. I was laughing my butt off. It was hilarious. The reporters were brutal on the questions, and they had some great, backup on the winning percentages and the wins and stuff. It was hilarious. It was hilarious, So, and then you had NFC West, 8-3 San Francisco 49ers, the Seattle Seahawks 6-5, Rams 5-6. Rams, watch out for the Rams. They could make the playoffs. And then you have the 2-10 Cardinals. Mediocrity. There we go. I mean, the NFC South is full of mediocrity, so wow. Guys, let's just get it. Let's just go. Let's just look at week 13 and let's just start the clock right now. Thursday night football, we have the Seattle Seahawks going into Dallas, playing the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, if you look at everything, like the stat-wise and stuff, of course it favors Dallas. They got the number 2 defense. They're playing very well. Dak Prescott playing well. Careful on this game, guys. Just careful if you're, you never know. Dallas, Dak Prescott, I just don't trust him. I just don't. I'm sorry, Dak. I just don't. I never have. Never will. Maybe you can prove me wrong. I hope you do prove me wrong. Yet, tonight's game, definitely the Dallas Cowboys will beat the Seattle Seahawks. Not a definite. Nothing's definite with Dak Prescott. That's just my opinion. But I definitely. I think the Dallas Cowboys will I know they will beat the Seattle Seahawks. Careful on this game. Seattle Seahawks, they do have a good team. They do have a good team. We have Sunday game at 10 a.m. We have the Chargers going into New England, playing the New England Patriots. Ugly, ugly game. I'm just going to give this up to the Chargers. The Patriots are in free fall. And I just don't see the Chargers losing this game. Well, they could. I mean, their offense is 12th, and the offense for the Patriots is 26th. The defense is the only thing that holds the Patriots together, and there's 8th. The defense for the Chargers is 29th. So, but the passing attack of the Chargers is 10th. The passing for the Patriots is 24th. The rushing is 21st for the Chargers, Eckler, and then 25th for the Patriots. So it's kind of, it's just definitely the stats favor the Chargers. So the Los Angeles Chargers over the New England Patriots on Sunday. The next game we have the Detroit Lions going into the Saints. Oh, they're going to be in the Superdome, and it's the Saints playing the Saints 5-6. The Saints just look terrible. There's just, I don't know what it is. Yeah, the mediocrity, Tom Brady, mediocrity, man, come on. Derek, what's going on? What's going on with the Saints? Their offense looks terrible. Defense looks pretty good. You have the Detroit Lions laying an egg on on Thanksgiving, but the Detroit Lions third offense, ninth in defense, sixth in passing, sixth in rushing. Saints 13th in offense, 10th in defense, 11th in passing, and 20th in rushing. There's their Achilles heel, 20th in rushing, but they're still double digits. That's why they're 5-6. And why are the Lions 8-3? Single digits all the way. So I'm giving this one up to the Detroit Lions. They're going to bounce back and beat the Saints in New Orleans. The next game we have the Atlanta Falcons, who I predicted would win their division. They are on top. They're playing the helpless, terrible New York Jets. I don't understand it. I mean, in all reality, the Jets' defense is great. They're playing at home. You never know, guys. It's going to be in terrible weather. Think about it. December weather, the Jets' 12th defense. Only reason why they're 12th is because their offense is 32nd. I mean, come on. 32nd. They're passing 31st. They're rushing 28th. Give me a break. I mean, why would even Rodgers consider coming back to this team? Do yourself a favor, Aaron. Retire. Really, seriously, brother. Retire. You've been washed up for 2 years. I'm gonna call it like it is, guys. I'm just gonna call it like it is. Aaron Rodgers has been washed up for 2 years in a row. He really has. And to think of that he's gonna, lead the New York Jets to the promised land, man. I mean, you're smoking some great ganja if you think that's going to happen. It's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. McAfee, he's all over Aaron's jock. You ever watch McAfee's show? I mean, he's all over Aaron's jock. He's just up his butt. I mean, so far up his butt. I just never seen a guy so far up Aaron Rodgers' butt. Aaron's gonna give me an interview. Because Aaron, he won't interview anyone else but McAfee. Because why? McAfee's what? Anti-vaccine or whatever. I mean, come on, man. Really? It's ugly. It's ugly. McAfee, stop. Get your head out of Aaron Rodgers' ass and really report what he is. He's washed up. He should retire. Period. Atlanta Falcons over the Jets in New York. Next game we have the Cardinals going into the Steelers. This is an interesting game. This is the Cardinals. I mean, the Steelers aren't really that good. The offense of the Cardinals is 19th. The Steelers' defense is only 24th. The defense of the Cardinals is 30th. The passing of the Cardinals is 25th, but that's kind of before the Kyler Murray coming back. Passing for the Steelers is almost last. It's 29th. And the rushing for the Cardinals is 10th. And the 16th for the Steelers. This is my upset special. I'm going to pick the Arizona Cardinals to go into Pittsburgh and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. That's a tall order. That's a great pick. And there you go. The next game I have the Indianapolis Colts going into Tennessee, playing the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. The Gardner Minshew playing all that and then some, but Jonathan Taylor, I believe, is going to be out, and Moss is going to come back. Moss is good. You have 16th ranked offense for the Colts and a 29th ranked offense for the Titans. 23rd defense for the Colts, 14th defense for the Titans. They're really getting better on defense. The passing, Minshew 19th, passing for the Titans 27th, terrible. Rushing, now Henry did come back last week and he did play a good game. He is at home, right? 22nd rushing, 11th rushing for the Colts. Colts stats just look better, guys. I think they're just a better team. I just do. I'm going to give this as to the Indianapolis Colts over the Tennessee Titans. I always want to say the Baltimore Colts because they used to be the Baltimore Colts. But this is Indianapolis Colts over the Titans. The next game we have the Miami Dolphins going into Washington, playing the Washington Commanders, who is just terrible. Their defense is terrible. This is my lock of the week, guys. The lock of the week is the Miami Dolphins over the Commanders. Might be some bad weather in Washington, but I don't think it would matter. Their defense just is terrible. They get rid of the two best defensive ends in one of the two best defensive ends in the game. They get rid of them. It's unheard of. Montez Sweat and just Young going to the 49ers. I just don't see the Commanders. They're just terrible, man. Seriously, guys. Their defense is near last. It is. It's 32nd. It's near last. It is last. Sorry. Oh my God. Yeah, it is bad. Their passing is great, but you got the passing of the Dolphins is number one, number two rushing. There's just gonna be destroy time. Yeah, this is my lock of the week. It's the easiest lock of the week I've ever had. So, giving it up to the Dolphins. We have the next game. This is an interesting game. This is a very hard game to call. We have the Broncos are on an amazing winning streak, but they're going into Houston and playing C.J. Stroud, and they almost won. C.J. Stroud almost beat. Well, they almost tied the Jacksonville Jags at the end of the game. But man, I know that Denver's on a winning streak, and I know that they've been playing much better, much better. Yet I don't see this happening. I see the Houston Texans, beating the Denver Broncos. I know Denver's on a hot streak, but I just don't see them beating the Houston Texans, and especially now if it was in Denver, I'd probably give it to Denver because of the altitude and the weather, right? But C.J. Stroud, they look so good, man. They look so good. I'm giving this one up to the Houston Texans over the Denver Broncos. The next game is kind of an ugly game. It's in Tampa Bay. It's the Carolina Panthers just firing Frank Wright. And I don't know if it's going to be I don't know if it's even, why would that be better? Firing him now at 1-10. At least have him play out the season. What's it going to do? What's going to make them better? It's not going to make them better. The Bucs are going to win. Give this one up to the Tampa Bay Bucs over the Carolina Panthers. Seriously, the Carolina Panthers are just horrendously bad. They're 1-10 record. They're 31st offense. Their defense is the best thing they have. 6th. But their passing is 30th and their rushing is 29th. The Buccaneers aren't that better. The Buccaneers rushing is 31st. The rushing for the Buccaneers has been terrible for years. And their passing is much better. It's 16th. Baker Mayfield. And Baker has Evans. This is going to be an interesting game, but it's in Tampa Bay, guys. Come on, man. You know who's going to win. We all know who's going to win, and it's going to be the Tampa Bay Bucks over the Carolina Panthers. The next game's going to be an interesting game. We have the Cleveland Browns, who I guess Flacco has been pulled off the practice squad, and he's been practicing with the number ones all week. Flacco. Wow. And the Cleveland Browns defense is number one. They're the best. They are the best. But they're going into Los Angeles, playing the Los Angeles Rams, who have been doing great. Kerryon Williams has been great. He's back. He had a super game. He had over 200 all-purpose yards last week. Cooper Kupp is going to be better. Nakua is going to be better. They're only at their 13th ranked defense for the Rams, going against the number one defense. The rushing of the Cleveland Browns is fourth. That's all they have is rushing because they really don't have much of a quarterback. And I just don't see. I see Rams on an upset on this one. I think the Los Angeles Rams, will beat the Cleveland Browns in Los Angeles, and that's going to be a tough game. But I really think the Rams are going to win at home over the Cleveland Browns. The next game we have literally the game of the week. The game of the week. We have the San Francisco 49ers playing the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia, mind you. In Philadelphia. Wow. It was like raining, and it was terrible, and Buffalo just lit it up against their defense. And then Buffalo couldn't hold the Eagles. So, Eagles are a good team, guys. They're a good team. But, they have the funniest part is the Niners are 8-3, right? The Eagles are 10-1. And guess who's favored? The 49ers are favored in this game. And why are they favored? People just think they have a better team. And I'm one of them, but I think the Eagles have a great team just as well as the 49ers. I think that the team is really, I think they're incredibly matched evenly. I really do think so. You have the 5th ranked offense of the San Francisco 49ers, 11th ranked offense of the Eagles, right? 4th ranked defense of the 49ers, 16th Eagles. They're bad with the pass. Look at it. Josh Allen shredded them, right? The passing for the Niners are 9th. The passing for the Eagles is 13th. 7th rushing for the Niners, 9th rushing for the Eagles. Man, if the Niners keep the Eagles in the game and the Eagles come back on a last 2-minute drill, the Eagles will win this game. But I don't think the Niners are going. I think they're smarting from last year's game when they played in the championship game. They lost to the Eagles because Brock Purdy went down and they didn't have any type of, all their quarterbacks. Only quarterback they had was, I forget the guy's name. I don't even know if he's still playing in football. But they were thinking of putting Christian McCaffrey in there. And it was sad. Brock Purdy going down last year. But this year, I think they're going to be pissed off. It is in Philly. I'm giving this one up to the San Francisco 49ers to beat the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. Yes. I'm giving this game up to the San Francisco 49ers in Philly. Jason Kelsey, don't hate me on this one, please. Man, I love you guys. I do. I just think it's their turn, the Niners' turn to win this game. The next game, now mind you, I had the Niners in the beginning of the year I do all the predictions. I had them only losing 4 games this year. So they're right on track. Right on track. I have the Eagles. They're just playing out of their mind. But I think this is a game that they're going to lose. And it's at 1:25 on Fox. So it's going to be one of the best games of the day. The best game of the day. We have Thursday. We have Thursday night football tonight, and I already gave the pick to Dallas. We have Sunday night football, guys. Sunday night football. And we have the Chiefs going into Green Bay. Green Bay upsetting the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions coming out and playing like Detroit Lions of the old and losing to the Green Bay Packers on Thanksgiving Day. So I had a kind of like a mini bye, in a way. They played Thanksgiving, and they had a few days, a couple other days of rest, so it's a longer week for them. And the Kansas City Chiefs, they just look good. They just look good, guys. They're 8-3. Patrick Mahomes looking great. He just lit it up last week. Rice doing much better. I'm giving this one up to the Kansas City Chiefs. Even if it's going to be, hey, guys, Patrick Mahomes loves the cold weather. He loves the snow. So if you're thinking that, it's going to be snowy and cold in Green Bay, Patrick Mahomes doesn't care. The Kansas City Chiefs, they don't care. They love those kind of games. They do. And I just don't see... And that defense of the Kansas City Chiefs, come on, guys, come on. The defense, bar none, defense is much better than the Packers. Packers defense is good. They proved it. Hey, the Detroit Lions could not. They got to Jared Goff. Goff was off. That was pretty funny. Goff was off. Come on, man. That was funny. The offense of the Chiefs is 10th. The offense of Packers is 20th. The Packers defense is 15th. They looked all world against the Detroit Lions. Hey, you've got to figure, Detroit Lions beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Packers beat the Detroit Lions. You can look at it that way. Maybe Jordan Love is doing better. Who knows? I don't know. This is really his second year or first year of starting. Truly starting. Yeah, doing good. He's doing good. I think it's for me. I'm not going to throw in the towel on Love like everyone else. I don't think he is the answer, but who knows? I could be wrong. I hope he proves me wrong. And the passing, of course, 8th. Passing the Packers 17th, middle of the road. Rushing 24th for the Packers. Ugh. And, their running backs have been hurt. They got Dillon. Jones has been hurt. Everyone's been hurt. So, in 17th for the Kansas City Chiefs. I just don't see the Chiefs losing this game. I just don't. I don't see it. The Kansas City Chiefs over the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field on Thursday night. Sunday night football. Excuse me. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Thursday night football. I like saying Thursday night football. It's fun. Sunday night football. There we go. All right. Last game, guys. We have the Bengals. Going into Jacksonville, playing them on Monday Night Football. The Jacksonville Jags barely beating the Houston Texans. I called that game. I called the Jags. But, man, they barely beat them. This game's the Bengals without Burrows. They have Browning. If you look at everything, the offense for the Cincinnati Bengals 28th, the defense 28th. And the passing's 21st, and their rushing is 32nd. But it's not that. I mean, even Jacksonville at their record of 8-3, right? Their offense is only 14th. It's like middle of the road, guys. Their defense 17th, middle of the road. Passing 12th, and their rushing is 18th. Ugh. You got to think it. They're 8-3, and their rankings, their stats are that bad, right? And think about all the other teams, 8-3, right? Think about it. Detroit Lions, right? I mean, they're not that bad with their stats at 8-3, right? They aren't. The Lions, not at all. I don't see it. I don't understand the logic of this. I just don't see it, guys. Something about it. I just don't see. I don't see the Jags losing this game whatsoever. I just don't. Yeah, they're not going to lose. They're going to beat the Bengals, and the Detroit Lions. Like I was trying to tell you, they're in the single digits, and they're 8-3. They're third offense, ninth defense, sixth passing, sixth rushing. And the Jags, they're in the teens. With all the rankings, and they're 8-3. So they're not a strong 8-3. They do have a great team, but I just don't see them as great as like the Chiefs are 8-3. They're not as great. The 49ers are 8-3. They're not as great, as those teams. The Dolphins 8-3. They're not even close on being as good as those teams. On stat wise, so and the Cowboys 8-3. So I'm giving this one up to the Jacksonville Jags over the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday Night Football. So let's just go over it really quickly. I have the Jags over the Bengals. I have the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the Packers. I have the San Francisco 49ers to beat the Eagles. I have the Rams over the Cleveland Browns. I have the Bucks over the Carolina Panthers. I have the Houston Texans to beat the Broncos. I have the Dolphins to beat the Commanders, which is my lock of the week. I have the Colts to beat the Titans. I have my upset special of the Arizona Cardinals to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. I have the Atlanta Falcons to beat the Jets in New York. I have the bounce back Lions to beat the Saints in New Orleans. I have the Chargers to beat the New England Patriots. And Thursday Night Football, I have the Cowboys over the Seattle Seahawks. Wow, guys, it's been fun. It's been fun. Thank you so much for tuning in. And, guys, I will see you on Saturday morning, Fantasy Football Roundup. And don't forget, I do have a really quick show from the studio, and it goes in, and it's like a 3 to 4 minute show that gives out all the winners and stuff. That will come out later today. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day. See you on Saturday, guys.